Rightio, Equine Events Australia. We're going to have a big weekend. Tony Norris, firstly, welcome.
Thank you.
We had a lot planned this weekend. I'm not exactly sure where you're taking me off to, but we were going to be doing a bit of a record with the man sitting to your left, Stewie Robinson. Firstly, Stuart, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thanks.
Tone, I was just saying then we were going to, I suppose, cover, Dale Plum and Stu were going to give up another masterclass, if you like, and highlight both their chosen disciplines and show how they go about it and the professional manner and everything they went with. Unfortunately, due to COVID, it's been postponed.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had to postpone it to the 31st of July. That was the date that suited both Dale and Stewie the best. So, yes, I mean, we've got no choice. We had to move it. We've got a great number of people who've bought tickets, so we're extremely pleased with the expected turnout. But, yeah, unfortunately, with COVID, we've had to move the date.
And you can see there on the banner I've got up there, 31st of July at Pearcedale, at Fox Den. So I suppose a lot of the locals will know where that is, but once they register and go from there. So I imagine before we get talking with Stuart, it's still important that people register and get your tickets, because if COVID does open up, but there are restrictions, first in, best dressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just depends really what the government announcements are, and we will manage the event according to those requirements. But absolutely, the tickets are still open. Because we've changed dates, it hasn't suited some people, so we've offered refunds. And then we've sold some more tickets because the date obviously suits other people. But certainly, if the government makes other announcements and puts restrictions upon us, we will need to manage it then.
Absolutely, and there is the option that we might be live streaming. We are reasonably confident we will be live streaming, but we will 100% confirm that once all the dates are done. We don't need to get people excited about that, but if they want to, just go to Campbells Comments website, and there's a live stream page there that you can follow all the links to, but we'll get a little bit more out about that once we get some confirmation. It might be one of those things that we just have to sit on our hands for a little while until COVID settles down. Stuart, firstly, I Facebook stalked you, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the last person to Facebook stalk you and go from there. Your page doesn't give up a lot about who you are and what you do, other than you have a huge love of horses.
Yeah, very lucky. I was born and bred into it through family. Both my parents horsey and grandparents as well, and my grandfather's still quite involved with our family and myself running the training stables, so very fortunate. Suburban
Lodge show and training stables, but to me, I said to Tony just there before you joined us actually, that there was an Australian stock horse saddle pad I saw on one of the horses. I think there's a lot more to yourself than just the showing of horses.
Yeah, I train a wide variety of breeds across all major shows, mainly concentrating on young stock in hand, but my actual passion is the Australian stock horse, so that's my passion, and I love producing and training stock horses. I've shown them at national level, Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, Adelaide. We breed one or two foals every couple of years, but yeah, the stock horse is my passion, but I'm lucky to show a wide variety of breeds across all disciplines. Around Australia, or all, showing young stock and all different sexes and different sections of breeds as well. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Tony, with the Equal Masterclass that was going to be happening tomorrow, that was basically where Stuart was going to come from, is I believe selecting the young horses and picking the right ones and getting them to become a show horse, and not just a show horse, but a winning show horse.
Yeah, Stewie has this amazing ability to take something from the paddock and transform it into something that will win at state and national titles and royal shows. And I think it's that unique ability to do that. That's a skill that not everybody has. But I think Stewie's ability to transition those horses and produce them to such a high level is just something that I think people can really learn from. And that was the intent of inviting Stuart along to a masterclass to present was to try and delve into his knowledge, for him to share some of his little secrets that he's got, other than sheer hard work. And he's the perfect person to talk about in-hand horses and breeds, etc. So yeah, we're very honoured to have Stewie involved.
So Stu, where does that skill come from? You were saying there about family before. Are you a third, fourth generation horse person?
Yeah, fourth generation. So Mum and Dad both showed open hacks, Galloways and ponies right through to Melbourne Royal. Mum won an open pony class out of, I think, 60 ponies in one height class back in her day. So that's showing her age. Dad was fourth in his good hands at Melbourne back in the day. That's when there was heaps of good hands. I don't get to see that these days, but they do tell me that they did win those classes. My grandparents bred with Mum, bred ponies, predominantly Australian ponies, and I'm very lucky to actually carry on the Suburban Lodge prefix and turn it into a training stables, because it's actually my great-grandfather's brand all the way from England, and he used to run a plumbing business over there, and all the tools were branded with this brand with the wooden handles. So yeah, the brand's got a story, and it's carrying on tradition. I'm
big on branding. You guys can't see what I've done just yet, but when you go back and watch it, you'll see I've made sure I've got both logos there. I think branding is key to be able to build up not just relationships, but to raise awareness. Barrastock are great sponsors of mine, and they get front and centre with a lot of what I do here on the equestrian page. But that brand awareness, Stuart, is something that is key, and it's a way of growing your business and I suppose evolving it and changing it up, and at the end of the day, maybe making it a little bit easier for yourself.
Most definitely. When we go to major royal shows, all the horses are exhibited by myself as a training stable as well as the owner, so that they know that they're part of a team. And I always make sure when I'm training horses, and I was going to talk about this, and I will talk about this in the masterclass in more depth. Running a training stables isn't just about producing the horse, it's about having a great band of clientele and friendship amongst the journey with horses, and that is a big part of our team. And I make sure that at all the shows, especially royal shows, when we're camping or we're there for 15 days at Sydney Royal, say, we are one team. We do everything together. We're all involved. We're inclusive, and one client's win is everyone's win, because it's all a team effort. So yeah, I make sure I'm really inclusive in making sure that it is the whole team, and that's why I sort of stick to using the Suburban Lodge Show and Training Stables as a team, and I always exhibit as a team, because we are all one team doing it together.
Tony, it's something that that I'm a bit of a greenhorn as far as the showing and that side of things. But it is one of those things that I've caught lately. I've done a couple of interviews with some young girls who get to an age where they're not sure where to go and what to do. Jess, I forgot Jess's surname, but she'll tell me off for that. She got with Chris Sievers and started to become part of a team, and actually enjoyed it. From my point of view, I always just thought showing was you rock up with your float and away you go, and best one on the day wins. But Stuart just said there about how important it is. I've seen with Greg Mickham the same thing at Barrastock just recently. I was able to be there, and because he's a Barrastock sponsored rider as well, I was doing quite a few things with him, and it's a huge team. It is such an important and an integral part of the show scene, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are some very good show teams around, and the ones that survive and the ones that have a lot of success are those that, exactly as Stuart described, they embrace you as a team. You're a team member. You're an integral part of it. And there's a lot of teams across the states here, and some say that teams aren't great for the sport because they say that teams have an unfair advantage. But I'm quite the opposite. I think that teams are instrumental to the future of the sport. I think that their level of professionalism can never be questioned. Like, the standard that the teams produce is just extraordinary. And so the rest of the competitors just, and this is why we do these masterclasses, to have a look at how the teams function. learn from these teams. Why are these teams so successful when they go to Royal Shows and state titles? You know, what is it that is unique about them that makes them so successful? And part of that is absolutely the team spirit, but also it is, you know, they're as good as the next horse, and if they keep producing winners, they'll keep getting clients. And so, you know, they've got to go hard to do well. And so, you know, don't ever underestimate the importance of professionals, because sometimes, you know, in our sport, people are critical of professionals, and which I also understand the point of view. But, you know, at the same time, professionals should be there to be learned from.
Yeah, it's interesting what you just said there, and I'll be interested, Stuart, on your thoughts. But from my point of view, I think the teams are sensational. I think, yes, you want to win. We're not playing for sheep stations. It's not like you're going to win a brand new house or something along those lines. So you definitely want to win. You want to have fun too, and to be a part of a group and know you're going to rock up and have a group of people that you can have a lot of fun with. I think that's one of the key things. So yeah, I find it a little bit strange. Stu, do you get a lot of backlash about the teams and how it works?
You do, but it's a hard one. When you're successful, you're always going to get haters, and that's a fact of life. No matter whether it be an equestrian sport, it be the Olympic Games as we're watching now, you know, in the next couple of days, or Grand Prix race cars. There's always going to be people out there that are going to criticise and that. But I think as long as you maintain your professionalism and keep to a high standard and don't let the nitty gritties of all the rubbish that goes on within a sport or the behaviour of certain people affect your team or your efforts at a show producing, that is a big key to things. Like, and a lot of people would laugh. I'm very young, and running a training stables and having that professional atmosphere around, it's been a big learning curve, you know, and without my parents backing me would be hard. Like some of the critical things that are heard of about you and your team or your team members or horses you're producing, you know, this ain't just for fun. This is my job and this is my income. And I think people need to respect that and remember that, you know, us as professionals, we're only doing our job. You know, we have failures at home that no one see, because that's our job to produce the next one and bring it out for that client. Do you know what I mean? Everyone in life has failures. Just because you're a mother and daughter showing your horse doesn't mean you're allowed to not have a failure. We have failures too, and we understand it. So that is a really big part of the sport, that, you know, don't let it affect you. Keep motoring on. There's always someone around the corner that's good, and there is always someone that's better than you as well. And my grandfather's biggest key to teaching me is it's not how good you win, it's how good you lose, and you walk out of that ring with that behaviour. Because, you know, putting a smile on your face with a fourth ribbon on, as amongst as getting a first place and winning, there is a huge difference in the behaviour of a lot of people, and that is a big thing. Leave that arena with a smile, congratulate every competitor, and the next day it could be something completely different. You could be in reverse and you could be first and they could be last. That's the way it goes.
I actually love that, and part of Campbell's Comments and Campbell's Comments Equestrian is to keep young kids in the industry. Tony's aware of that, and the likes. If there is more professional teams, there's more options for kids to be able to, you know, work for those stables, work for those teams, and stay in the industry instead of travelling overseas. And I'm saying that because I'm jealous, because I've got I've got a 15-year-old daughter that if she wants to excel, she may have to travel overseas. And so it's one of the quests that I've got. I'm being brutally honest, but yeah, as a dad, I don't want her to go. I wanted to go over there and compete and win, but yeah, as a father, I wanted to stay here and never leave home, basically. So there's always those two juggles. Part of your masterclass, Stu, is about how you go about picking out horses and the likes. And I don't want you to give everything up, because we want people to, you know, come and get to the masterclass. But roughly, like, how many young stock would you actually have a look at prior to, you know, finding the ones that are what you're after?
Well, it depends. Like, I have clients that choose to send what they want, or some bigger studs will ask me to come and look at something and and they give me a selection, or they say, go into the paddock and choose what you like. Some clients will ask me to come with them for a pre-purchase inspection, so we'll go and look at some young stock, or ask me to look for the next 6 months for something young and exciting. It all just depends on each client. Obviously, their bank account. Horses are expensive, but we love it. It all depends, but there's nothing better than walking into a paddock at this time of year and picking a youngster in the rough. It is a real joy to see the before and afters, and in the masterclass in a couple of weeks, I've got some fantastic before and after photos to show you, from something that arrived as a weanling climbing the walls of the stable, having not seen white man, to going out and winning, at royal and national level. So they'll be exciting to introduce to you in the masterclass. But it's the biggest thing I would say is, and I'm not critical of the new era, but confirmation is a big thing, and a lot of younger generation don't understand the conformation of an animal. If you don't have conformation, you don't have feet, you don't have legs, you're starting off behind the 8 ball. So and there's no perfect world, there's no perfect horse. But if you're wanting to end up making it a saddle animal, the closer to perfect conformation, the better. So we start with conformation. That'd be the biggest thing. And if we're going for breed standard, which I show a lot of breed animals, is breed standard. So that's what you want to look at, breed standard. And of course, on all tops of the list is quality, and that is hard. That is a really hard thing to get your head around, is quality. And I sometimes explain it as, their veins popping when you look at them. That you stand in that lineup with 10 other horses, and I'll say, that could beat me today. That's outstanding. The veins are popping, their eyes are popping. They've got a beautiful hooky front and beautiful way of going, ready to carry a saddle. And this is talking young stock, and then you see them go on to be, Grand National and Royal Show champions. Yeah, it's exciting to watch, and it's a good journey as a trainer to even watch other trainers and what they bring out and what exciting young stock they take on, or clients send them, and you see where they end up. It is a great journey of young stock, and it is exciting bringing them out of the paddock nice and hairy, and sometimes wild, and then turning them into the swan they are when they walk onto a showground. And it ain't easy. Some take longer than others, and some turn the corner quicker. So. But in the masterclass, we will explain that and show you some before and after photos of what I've done with my work.
I'm not sure why he was saying hairy, Tony. I'm not sure where he's going with that one. He might be picking on the follically tested people interviewing him. I'm not sure, and that's key to get to these masterclasses. And as I said, we might be going online. Hopefully we're not. Hopefully people can get there in large numbers, and it'll be really good. But that's a key advantage they're going to be able to get, isn't it, Tone, when they go to these masterclasses, watch and listen. But then also, I'm pretty sure Stuart and Dale Plum won't be, grabbing their bags and jumping in the car and driving off. They're still going to be there, like Greg Mickham and those guys were at the first one, to be able to answer these questions for people.
Yeah, we chose our presenters for our masterclasses because of, their openness and willingness to give back to the sport. And I think, that's the thing with Stewie, is that he's very approachable. He's very willing to support us. As soon as we asked him to be involved with such a new organisation, he jumped at the chance. He supported, the masterclass series that we're working through. And it's the same with each of our presenters, is that, they were chosen because, we have respect for them as horsemen, and that they will be open and honest and happy to answer questions. And I think that's the importance of coming along to a masterclass, is it does give you that ability to easily interact with these presenters.
Yep, and that is key, and that's what what we are doing now too, is also to raise awareness, so that people say, why do I want to go and watch Stewie Robinson, who spells his name very funny too? Why do we want to go and watch Stewie Robinson at a masterclass for? This is why. The one thing I love about you, Stu, is that is your job, I suppose, your workplace.
Yep.
But your stock horses also are another component of it. But you have a real love for the stock horses as well, and showing them and getting them as well. Are they a little bit harder for you with the training, because you do really love that side of things?
It's a really good journey. Like, it's a whole different sport, because stock horses under saddle is completely different to like the open show ring. So, and I'm a national judge as a stock horse, and I also judge open hacks and galloways around Victoria at ag shows. So, and showing breeds in open breeds and that. So, say a hack that's exquisite that might just break in the canter and that in a workout, you might forgive it because of its quality, because they are a mantelpiece. That's what we look for in a show hack. Whereas a stock horse, it is so obedient. They are the breed for every need. If we ask for walk, we expect walk. If we ask for canter, if we ask for flying change, and we're scored on a pattern. So it is a big, big difference. And the stock horse is so big, and the numbers. Like, I judged the national show back in 2018, I think it was, and I did the lead section of the national maturity, and I think there was over 100 exhibits that I judged and had to score out each animal out of 100. So it's a big challenge, but it is good. And showing at Sydney this year in the stock horse ring, there wasn't a class that would have been under 10 exhibits in the classes, and some were up to 3 heats of being called in off the circle just in a league class. So they're a really strong breed and highly competitive, and they're getting better and better, and they're a great challenge. And I love their quality, that they've come a long way from just a stock horse with a saddle blanket and chuck the stock saddle on and off you go. They really are a show animal now, and are a really beautiful type.
That's actually great to hear, because I know numbers, I'm a harness racing trainer. I think numbers in every horse discipline seem to be going the wrong way, if you like. It's great to hear that stock horses are so popular, but also, by the sounds of it, almost increasing in size numbers.
Definitely. The Stock Horse Society are really smart. They put a percentage of their income back into youth, and I think they've done that for many years now. I think it's really helped the society, and if we don't have youth, we don't have anything coming through.
No, exactly.
Youth is our biggest importance in any field.
And the one thing about youth, I can't think of anything better for kids to be doing, maybe playing golf or racing cars or things like that, but being active and being responsible for their actions. And that's what horses bring to them. Young kids, they have to be responsible. They've got to be fed 3 times a day here in central Victoria. Warrigal, you might be lucky enough, you've got plenty of grass and you might be able to get away with it once a day, but they're a great lifestyle. I think the 3 of us can all attest to that, and that's one of the key things. It's great that the stock horse people are doing that. Tone, did you have some questions for Stuart?
No questions.
No questions at all.
No.
Stuart, I really appreciate you giving your time up and joining us, and on pretty miserable weather, and like I said, it's because everyone's stuck in COVID as well. It's a bit trying, but you run a business, so you're still going in and out working horses in the rain, in the mud. I really appreciate you giving us a little bit of time, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
And Tony, I'd like to say thank you for you joining us as well. And as we said there before, with this masterclass coming up, it is on, at the minute, Saturday the 31st of July at Pearcedale at Fox's Den. Please follow all the links, get into the bookings. See our website, which is www.eqeal.com.au. I'll start that again. www.eqeal.com.au. What I was about to say is there is no U in that, just EQEAL, and make sure you get on there and register, and that's the key part, isn't it, Tone, is to be aware and hopefully be able to get there to Pearcedale, especially if you're in the area. Put it in your calendar to try and be there.
Absolutely. It'll be a great day.
It will indeed. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Stuart, look forward to meeting you on the 31st of July, mate.
No worries. Thank you. Stay warm, boys.